Alright, so it is a 1:20 in the morning right now, but I have just gotten back from seeing Poor Things, the first film that I have seen at this year's Brisbane International Film Festival, and my most anticipated of the entire festival. And I really want to talk about it with you guys, so let's get into it. So, I always like to do a background with you guys in terms of talking about the filmmaker behind the movie, my history with them, whether I like or dislike them, so you get a clearer picture of where I'm coming from with this review. In terms of Yorgos Lanthimos, I'm not a big fan. There's one film of his that I really enjoy, which is Killing of a Sacred Deer, and the rest of the stuff I appreciate, but I've never truly loved. So, that kind of means something, I think, when I say to you that Poor Things is his best film and was absolutely stunning. This is unlike anything that I have ever seen. It is truly unique, and there is no comparison to any other film. It does something that I have never really seen, and I truly appreciate what it achieves. You've heard all of the buzz out of the film festivals, and it practically lives up to that. The first thing we got to mention is just how stylistic it is, because that might be the strongest point of the movie. There's so many different styles throughout each of the three acts of this movie. You have black and white, you have color, you have different aspect ratios, you have fisheye lenses. It just goes crazy. This is Yorgos Lanthimos in sicko mode, and I absolutely love it. This film looks stunning from the first frame of this movie. You can tell it's special straight away. You know you're watching something special the minute this film starts, and it just continues. This film follows Bella Baxter, played by Emma Stone, who just completely eats up this role. She is going to be a huge Oscar contender. She commits. It is a very unique performance, especially for her. This is unlike anything we've ever seen before. As a fun fact, she was originally cast as Margot Robbie's role in Babylon, but she chose this role over that. And I can kind of understand why, because this is so different to what we're used to from her, and would be a really exciting challenge, I think. And she's going to be rewarded a lot for this. I think that she will win the Academy Award for this role, because she goes through it all here. Her character has a massive evolution from where we see her in the beginning to the very end of this film. There's a lot that Lanthimos wants to cover in this movie, but the main thing that I really resonated with and discovered through viewing this film was that it was a true exploration of someone finding their independence. This is a very strange take on a coming of age tale in a lot of ways, in a very Yorgos Lanthimos strange type of way, and it totally works. It really does. There is just this full development throughout this massive odyssey that this character goes on, with interacting with different people and going through all of the stages of life, that by the end of the film, you are just so connected with this character, and the way that it achieves it throughout each of these acts and with all of these characters is insane, really. You also have this really phenomenal supporting cast around her. The two that everyone talks about is Mark Ruffalo, who is fantastic in this. He adds a lot of comedic relief in here. He's really going big with this performance, and it's very different to anything I've seen him do before. But yet, it is such a testament to how brilliant he is as an actor that he can pull something like this off. He's doing all of these different accents, all of these different mannerisms. He goes through a lot in this movie, and he can just adjust so quickly and so easily, and that really is a testament to his greatness as an actor. Willem Dafoe is Willem Dafoe. Of course, he is amazing. He looks almost unrecognizable in this makeup that is absolutely stunning and deserves a nomination at the Academy Awards for sure. And he is a very interesting character that has a fascinating backstory that you want to learn a little bit more about. And his relationship to Bella Baxter in this movie was very endearing in a lot of ways. Then you have Rami Youssef, who I don't think has gotten enough praise for this movie. He, to me, is just as good as the other two. He is such a sweet character. And just because he doesn't have as many showy scenes, he's kind of not getting the praise that the other two have. But he's just consistently incredible throughout the film. He has a wonderful screen presence, and he kind of just makes you smile and feel happy and comfortable because his character brings such warmth to this film and such maturity. And I really appreciated that and the angle that they go for with this character and his relationship to Bella Baxter. Going back to the technical crafts, alongside the beautiful cinematography that goes through so many different stylistic choices that deserves awards recognition, there's also wonderful production design. It is so intricate and layered. Now, I had always questioned how much of it was production design versus visual effects. There are some visual effects, but it's usually just the background in terms of clouds and smoke and all of those things. The actual buildings seem legitimate production design or miniatures that look very impressive for this movie. It is very visually distinct and unlike anything that we've really ever seen before, especially from Lanthimos, who is a quirky filmmaker for sure, but he's really going out there with this, and I really love that. Something that I really wasn't expecting with this movie as well was how funny it was. This is almost a downright comedy for the first half of this film. This is just giving you a lot of laughs. My theater was really wrapping this up and laughing at every scene, almost a little too much, because by the end of the film, it felt like it was becoming a lot more poignant and a little bit sad. And during those scenes, I think some of the audience was still confused whether to laugh or not, but it really wasn't intended to do that, I think. Now, that could be seen as a flaw for the movie. I don't see it that way. I thought the poignant moments were really clear and the funny moments were really clear, and the audience was just a little bit funny personally. But the humor here is top notch. As I said, Mark Ruffalo brings a lot to this role. He is hilarious in this film. Bella Baxter, Emma Stone, is hilarious as well from the very opening of this movie. She starts off just hilarious in a lot of physical ways. Her physical performance and the physical comedy is just top notch, and she is just killing that line delivery. It really is almost a career high performance from Emma Stone. You could probably argue that it is one because of how committed she is and the ambitiousness of this role. Now, in terms of flaws, because I don't think that this is a perfect movie, I know the word masterpiece and one of the best movies of the year has been floating around this movie a lot lately, and it definitely is one of the best of the year, for sure. It is impressive. I really enjoyed my time with it, but it's not perfect, I think. There are a couple of little things that I think held it back a little bit. I personally thought moments in the third act didn't really need to happen. It kind of gives you answers that you might be questioning, so you might see its purpose. I definitely do see why it was put in there. They're valid scenes. However, to me, I didn't really need those answers. I can kind of assume or figure out what happened to some of these characters from what they've insinuated throughout the film than them showing me at the very end. So I didn't really need it, and I think that kind of little sequence blew out the runtime a little bit and detracted from the momentum of where the story was going. It kind of goes on a little bit of a tangent, I felt like, even if it does play into the overall narrative. I do see its purpose. It's really hard to justify this criticism without going into full spoilers, and I definitely don't want to do that with you. But I just felt it a little bit jarring, and that was the moment where I felt like the runtime was starting to get a little bit long. I also think it's worth mentioning, because this does turn some people off these movies at points. There is a lot of sex in this movie. There's full compilations, there's full nudity, and if that's not your thing, then this might not be for you, because there is a lot of it in here. But I do think it is purposeful. It doesn't come off as pervy or unnecessary or indulgent. It really felt like it was playing into the narrative and kind of the odyssey of a human's life in a lot of ways. So it felt very purposeful. It is a part of life. If you're mature about it, it is something that is necessary towards the film and what it's trying to go for. but there is a lot of it in here, so just be warned if you're not a fan of those scenes. Overall, I honestly feel like this might be a bit of a mess of a review because it's so late, but I just wanted to get my thoughts out there. I really enjoyed Poor Things. It was a great film. I highly recommend you check it out, especially if you're buying into all of the buzz from the festivals. I do think you should believe the hype. It really does live up to it. Even if it didn't hit that 5 out of 5 masterpiece level for me, it just got a little bit under that. So that's why I'm going to give Poor Things a 4.5 out of 5. I think it was incredible. It definitely is one of the best of the year, with an amazing performance from Emma Stone, one of her best. Great performances from Mark Ruffalo, Willem Dafoe, and Rami Youssef. Great stylistic choices, and personally, I think that this is Yorgos Lanthimos' best film to date. Truly stunning work, very captivating, very ambitious, and just has a lot of the flair that you'd expect from some of the best filmmaking in the 21st century. And those are my thoughts towards Poor Things. I was so excited to see this movie, and I'm so glad I have finally seen it. If you have seen it, let me know what you think about it in the comments below, and let me know if you're excited for it. I'm sure a lot of you are. I definitely was so keen to see it, and I'm really glad to have finally gotten to the point where I can talk about it with you guys. So let me know in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.